First, we need to summarize this sutta. Venerable Mālukyaputta said to Buddha to teach him Dhamma in brief. He was broken down old man, maybe 90 years old, and Buddha gave him the guidance of vipassana. Itacha te Mālukyaputta data sutta mutta vinyate sutta mesu date data matam boisati sutte sutta matam boisati mutte mutta matam boisati vinyate vinyata matam boisati. Mālukyaputta regarding things seen, heard, reached, and cognized by you in the seen, there will merely be the seen. In the heart, there will be only the heart. And in the reached, there will only be the reached. In the cognized, there will only be the cognized. So only 4 things, very short, but it covers everything. That means yogi must note and know continuously whatever arises, phenomena occurring at the 6 and doors. So it covers everything. It is very short, but very important what yogi are doing. And listen again and again. Of those things seen, heard, reached, and cognized, in what is seen, there will be only the seen. Dhammadan, that means when you see something, you must stop just as what is seen. That means you must not put any value on it, or you must not put any color to that object. When you see the visible objects, you take it to be beautiful or ugly, or you take it to be permanent, satisfactory or substantial, and so on. So if you do not take the visual objects as permanent or substantial, you just stop at what is seen, then you are said to be observing that object correctly. So yogi have to stop at the Ottapana or determining moments in the witty process. And when your mindfulness is really strengthened, you can stop that moment. And in that process, there will be only 2 or 3 determining moments, and not get into taking that objects as permanent, beautiful, satisfactory, and substantial. Because at that moment you capture the reality so you don't go over that. Now, during the practice, your concentration getting better and you understand how thought movements are running very, very fast. It is almost imperceptible. What Buddha mentioned is billions, and these thought moments running more than 1 billion times in a second. Now what we see is only just maybe few times when yogic concentration is getting strengthened. Now you practice diligently to develop your mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. And with the instrument of your mindfulness, concentration, and understanding, you will be able to stop at the Votapana moment and not go over to the Javana moment. Why? Because you are training diligently to sharpen your mindfulness. As soon as the object arises, your naughty mind rush forward or towards into the objects with great force. We call with courage. So naughty mind capture the reality without hesitation, without thinking, without reflecting, without analyzing, imagining, questioning, considering, speculating, or fantasizing. Your naughty mind can capture the reality. So because of this, naughty mind stop at the moments of Votapana, determining moments. So Buddha said, there will be only the seeing. Let there be seeing with regard to what is seeing. What Buddha meant that yogi should stop at just the moment of Votapana. That means you have to stay with the reality. Don't go to the conceptual stages. That is when yogi reached the Pinganyana and Sankaripikanyana, yogi can understand the reality. So what happens if yogi cannot stop there? If yogi cannot stop there, there will be the Javana moments. But if yogi train very well, yoniso manasikara, kusala Javana will arise. If we not well trained, there will come akusala Javana, unwholesome Javana. And then yogi have some quality to note. after that moment, there we follow another mental process, another thought process. So that is recollecting phase. During the recollecting phase, our mind takes the objects which has just been seen, which has disappeared from the avenue of the idol, etc. So the next phase, recollecting phase, takes the object which has just gone out of existence. If we cannot stop at the first thought process, we may be able to stop at the second thought process. If we cannot stop at the second thought process, it is still good. Why? Because that thought process takes the objects which is reality, stay paramata. Should not go to the concept yet. It is not a concept yet. After taking that objects and experiencing it, and if you can stop there and not go to the later phases, it is still good. So we will not have either attachment or anger or hatred with regard to that objects which we have seen. Because we stay in the paramata reality, ultimate reality. If we cannot stop at the second, we go over to the third phase. So in the third phase, during that third phase, we begin to see not reality, but the concept. We begin to see a things or being or a man or a woman, shape or form. These are concepts, not reality. So we come to have likings or disliking about these things. And then another coming, the third stage. After coming the third stage, we go over to the fourth stage. So we think of the names of those concepts. There is A or B, or we can name. We can name of those concepts. So in this process, there is only a concept. So because of this, we have to practice meditation seriously so that our mindfulness and concentration getting strengthened, and we can capture the reality correctly. And then if you practice in this way, what are the benefits of this training? Can you look at the paper number 2? The benefits of vipassana and realizations of nirvana, number 5. Page number 2, number 5, the benefits of vipassana and realizations of nirvana. So number 1 is guidance, meditation guidance. And number 2 is, if this can happen, you will have no pull or no engagement with the objects you have seen, heard, reached, and cognized. That is, you remove the latent defilements that are embedded in the objects. So long as you are noting, correctly, you can remove the kilesa that can occur in the objects. Number 3, if you have no engagement with these objects, then you will not be entangled in these objects, because objects totally disappear, so there is no entanglement. Number 4, if you are not entangled in these objects, there will be no clinging to the 6 external sense bases, no clinging to the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. That is 6 internal bases, and there will be no clinging to the 6 external sense bases. That is visual objects, sound, etc. Nor there will be clinging to the 6 kinds of consciousness, seeing consciousness, hearing consciousness, between the 2 of them. So if you cling to nothing, you can realize nirvana momentarily, and then later, gradually you will reach the nirvana, the end of suffering. And then in the Mālukyaputta Sutta is continue, those unmindful yogi, unmindful person who do not note, who do not practice, who do not observe, are far from nirvana, because seeing a visible object and finding it pleasurable, he becomes heedless, because he is looking for beauty or ugly, and he not mindful. If you're not mindful, he enjoying that objects, or he getting attached to it, and he grabs it firmly in his mind. So we are not involved with seeing, hearing, increase and multiplying. What kinds of Vedana? The pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, etc. And number 4 is lobha, greed develops, and dosa, anger, depression grows, and so does his suffering. So in this way, unmindful person become a seeker of suffering. He suffer again, he suffer and suffer and suffer. He was in the rounds of suffering. So number 6, a seeker of suffering is far from the land of Nibbana. So he will not reach Nibbana, he cannot realize Nibbana, because he don't want Nibbana. So what is for Nibbana? Nibbana, he say, in Nibbana there is no nama rupa. In Nibbana there is no eyes, no ears, you cannot listen music, you cannot see your loved one. And in Nibbana there is no tongue, you cannot eat delicious food. So he don't want Nibbana, because in Nibbana there is no feeling. You cannot enjoy all kinds of sensual objects. He want to enjoy all kinds of sensual pleasures, so he don't want Nibbana. He not looking for Nibbana. He do not want to practice meditation. So now, number 7, yogis who note and observe are close to Nibbana. So today we go to the hearing, because last week we finished seeing. So hearing in the dark side, mindfulness is lost to unmindful person, having heard the sound reflect upon the signs of beauty. So after hearing the sounds, if he do not apply mindfulness, then he will take the signs of beauty. That means the sounds is beautiful, he is attached to the sounds, and he like to store these sounds. Not only the sounds and the person, the owner of the sound person, he like it. So he like to possess these sounds and person. That is why people buy records and tapes, and they listen again and again. So being of mind filled with attachment, he enjoys the sounds and dwells swallowing it. He does not apply mindfulness when he hears the sound, so he becomes attached to the sounds and his mind is filled with attachment. He enjoys the sound, he enjoys the voice again and again. So that means he dwells swallowing the sound. He wants to possess it and trying to possess the sounds and the owner of the sounds, the person. So such a person, diverse feelings dependent upon the audible objects multiply. Good sensation or bad sensation, pleasant sensations or unpleasant sensation arise. Covetousness and aversion torment his mind. So to that person who accumulate karma formation, suffering arises. For such unmindful person, nirvana is said to be far away. So regarding the sounds, Masi Sierra aphorism, we have to recite number 6. Those who do not note and observe are far from nirvana. So can you follow me? Number 1, hearing an audible object and finding it pleasurable, he become heedless. Enjoying it and getting attached to it, he grabs it firmly in his mind. Vedana involved with hearing increase and multiply. Lobha develops and dosa grows, and so does his suffering. In this way, unmindful person become a seeker of suffering. A seeker of suffering is far from the lands of nirvana. So unmindful person, he don't want nirvana and he have no interest in the practice of meditation. So he have to suffer again and again, again and again. And then for the bright sides, mindful person. So yogi want nirvana In the beginning, you not understand Nirvana, but when you practice, you can enjoy momentary Nirvana again and again, and finally you will attain total Nirvana. So yogi apply mindfulness when they hear something. Yogi cannot have attachment to sounds, whether it is the sounds of a bird or sounds of a dear person or ugly sound, etc. When you hear a sound, you must just stop there and not go over to the not go over to deciding whether it is agreeable or beautiful or not. That means you have to stop at the determining moment. That means your mindfulness must be very, very active. Your mindfulness rush to the sounds and capture the reality, the sound wave. You need to capture. Now you are training to sharpen your mindfulness. Then yogi cannot have attachment. Why? Because the sound will disappear. And when you pay close attention to what you hear, you will be able to stop at just what is heard and not go over to liking the sounds or disliking the sound. Ugly sounds or beautiful sounds, you don't care. Beautiful sound also disappear, ugly sound also disappear. All the sound disappear as soon as you capture the sound. So when you go over to liking it and disliking it, you accumulate karma formation. So there will be suffering, and you will be far from Nibbana. But now you believe that mindfulness meditation is good. You must practice, so you apply mindfulness. And you can stop just as hearing and do not have covetousness or aversion, because you capture the reality, the sound disappear. And then you do not accumulate karma formation. If you do not accumulate karma formation, suffering will not arise, because you stop kilesa, liking or disliking, desire or discontent, contentment, anger or desire, kilesa stop, and you can stop karma formation. And then vipaka. When there is no kilesa and karma, there will be no results. Results of aging, sickness, and death. All these suffering will stop. So suffering will not increase in yogi, and so yogi are near to Nibbana. So after hearing, smelling, tasting, and touching, that is Buddha said, Mutte mutammatamboisati, vinyate vinyatammatamboisati. These all are the same. When unmindful person smells a sense, and if he does not apply mindfulness, if he is not mindful, then he will be attached to it, and he will experience it with attachment, and he will enjoy it. In this way, abhijja and domanassa, covetousness and aversion, or desire and discontentment, will torment his mind. and so on. And tasting, yogi have to be very careful about food also. Food or eating is one place where we can have attachment very easily. People like good food, they prepare good food, they want to eat good food whenever they can. That is why there are many restaurants. If we do not apply mindfulness to eating, then we will be attached to food. When there is attachment, covetousness and aversion, desire and discontentment will also come to us, and we will be accumulating karma formation. But we are fortunate to come to the center, to come to the intensive retreat. We try to apply mindfulness. There is no chance for attachment or aversion to come to yogi. So when yogi eat, yogi try to be mindful. When you apply mindfulness, when you eat, you see the food and you note seeing, and then wanting to stretch, wanting to get, wanting to stretch, and then stretching, touching, bringing, and all these things. But those are not with regard to food or taste. Those are with regard to seeing and touching and so on. When you put the food in the mouth, chew the food, and then you begin to experience the taste, then you may be attached to that taste, or you may not. If you do not apply mindfulness, you will be attached to that taste. If you apply mindfulness, you noting good, good. If it is good, and bad, bad it is. If it is bad, then you can capture the reality. What is reality? Is despair. True. Tasting the delicious food or not delicious food, it despair. You capture that nature, impermanent nature, and then attachment and aversion have no chance to get into your mind. So with regard to eating, yogi have to be very careful and not let attachment or aversion enter uh, enter enter your mind. So monks and nuns especially trained to eat food with proper reflection. They call pichavakana, with a sense of the loathsomeness of food, ahare patikula sinya. So sometimes there is a problem because lay people, donors, want to prepare good food, delicious food, and they offer to the monks and nuns. They want monk to enjoy that food. So they prepare good food, tasty food, delicious food. They want the monks to enjoy. But monks have to eat with reflection, that they eat with the sense of loathsomeness of food and so on. So laymen or donor may prepare the best food, delicious food that he can do. he can do offer to the monks. This is his part of doing, because he was generous. But the monks must not eat with attachment. So they must not eat it with relish. If they are true followers of the Buddha, they must eat with proper reflection, or eat with the sense of the loathsomeness of the food. Otherwise, they will get attachment and suffering will follow. So monks are not supposed to enjoy. Mindfulness is lost to the person who, having tasted a gustatory object, reflect upon the signs of beauty. We need to remember. And then touching with tangible objects also, when we have a bad touch, we need to apply mindfulness. When we practice sitting meditation, sometimes a lot of pain. That is, objects very tough, and then there comes severe pain, piercing pain. So bad touch. So we need to apply mindfulness, and also when we have a bad touch, we need to be mindful and note continuously, so that we don't get attachment or aversion. And also with regard to Dharma objects, the word Dhamma objects is difficult to translate. Dhamma objects here means all objects which we can think of with our mind. So sometimes yogi are so carried away by their thoughts that they forget to apply mindfulness. So some people say it is so tempting and it is difficult to give up thinking the thoughts. So that is, having cognized Dhamma objects, they reflect upon the signs of beauty. It feels good to think that way. If they take the signs of beauty, attachment and others will come in. When we have very good thoughts, very tempting thoughts, we need to apply mindfulness. Just labeling, thinking, and let them go away. So if we are attached to these thoughts, then attachment or sometimes aversion will come. So we accumulate karma formation, which will increase our suffering. So when Mālukyaputta told the Buddha how he understood the Buddha's teaching in these verses, the Buddha was glad. So Buddha accepted or agreed with what he said. At the end of the verses, Mālukyaputta said, "Indeed, Bhante, I understand in full the meaning of what the Blessed One has spoken in brief. I understand." Then Buddha said to Mālukyaputta, "Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu, Mālukyaputta, well said, Mālukyaputta. Well, indeed, you understand in full the meaning of what I have spoken in brief. Then, Buddha repeated these 24 verses. If you go to the Pali text, you can find 24 verses. That means Buddha agreed with the words of Mālukyaputta had said. And so he accepted these verses as his own teaching. So we can take these verses as spoken by the Lord Buddha. If Buddha did not repeat, some people may say, oh, there is Mālukyaputta saying, not Buddha words. But believe these are the teaching of the Buddha. Buddha repeated these 24 verses. So at the end of this sutta, what Mālukyaputta did, formerly Mālukyaputta was a confused person, but now he was not. So Buddha said, that is how Mālukyaputta, you should understand in full the meaning of what I have said in brief. Buddha said in brief, but Mālukyaputta understand very well. So Venerable Mālukyaputta was pleased with and praised what was said by the Blessed One. And he rose from his seat, paid respect to the Blessed One, circled him 3 times, keeping him on his right side, and departed. So he was pleased and paid homage to the Buddha. Then, as was the custom of those days, he circled the Buddha 3 times, keeping the Buddha on his right, and departed. He did not say anything to the Buddha that he would practice meditation, but after some time he did practice meditation. Then you remember what Venerable Mālukyaputta said to Buddha. Venerable Mālukyaputta, dwelling alone, secluded, mindful, with energy that dissipate mental defilements, and mind directed towards enlightenment. In no long time, he knew, realized, and fulfilled for himself in this very life that goal for which clansmen rightly leave home for the homeless life, and which is unsurpassed and the end result of holy life. In the beginning, Venerable Mālukyaputta said, please teach me something so that I may dwell alone, secluded, mindful, with energy that dissipate mental defilements, with mind directed towards enlightenment, and practice Dharma. So he went away, and later on he practiced meditation diligently. When he practiced meditation, he practiced alone, secluded, mindful, with energy that dissipate mental defilements, with mind directed towards enlightenment. That means he practiced diligently, that he practiced alone in a secluded place with full energy. In no long time, Venerable Mālukyaputta knew, realized, and fulfilled for himself in this very life that goal for which clansmen rightly have leave home for the homeless life. That means not long after he practiced the Dharma, he realized the goal, he reached the goal. That means many people became monks for that goal. The goal he reached in that very life, not long after he began practicing meditation. So Mālukyaputta was successful and he realized the truth. And he knew exalted is rebirth, lived in the holy life, done is what's to be done. There is no more task for the extinguishing of mental defilements. That is how he knew what that means. That means Mālukyaputta became an arahant. So when he knew that rebirth is exalted, that there is no more rebirth for me, and that I have lived this holy life, that I have done what is to be done, and there is no more tasks to be done for the extinguishing of mental defilements. He had become an arahant. So this sutta ends with the statement. The Venerable Mālukyaputta was yet another of the arahants. So he became an arahant at the end. So this sutta was very beneficial for Mālukyaputta and also for yogis who listen this sutta and practice according to the teaching of this sutta. Yogi have to apply. Yogi should keep this instruction. This sutta is very short and the instruction for meditations are very brief, but they are to the point. So they have to be understood according to the teaching given in other sutta. So in this sutta, Buddha taught Satipatthana Vipassana meditation or just mindfulness meditation. The Buddha meant to say that mindfulness is an important factor in the practice of meditation. If we apply mindfulness to whatever we experience, we are close to Nirvana step by step. We will not accumulate karma formation. And we will not have covetousness or aversion, abhijja and domanassa, or delusion with regard to these objects if we apply mindfulness. If we apply mindfulness immediately after we have seen, heard, smelled, and so on, we have to apply mindfulness immediately. That means your mindfulness is very active, very strong. As soon as objects arise, your noti mind rush towards the object with great force, with courage. So at that moment, noti mind can capture the objects without hesitation, without thinking, reflecting, analyzing, questioning, speculating, or fantasizing. Because it is very important to capture the reality. The present phenomena arises only a very short moment. So at that moment, you need to hurry. You need to quickly go to the to capture the phenomena. So yogis are very fortunate to have this teaching, and we are now following this teaching, applying this teaching to our meditation. So we all should try to put effort to reach the goal or to reach the stage like Mālukyaputta. So we have to recite the page number 2, number 7. Those who note and observe are close to Nibbana. So regarding hearing, we need to say hearing an audible object. So can you follow me? If you note and observe, when hearing an audible object, you become free from lust and craving. If you note and observe, when hearing an audible object, you become free from lust and craving. So after hearing, as soon as you hear, immediately you capture the hearing, and you capture the sound wave disappear, ugly or beautiful sounds, they disappear. And then you have no chance to enjoy the sounds, and you have no chance to cling to the sounds, and you do not grasp the sounds in your mind. Can you follow me? Number 2, without enjoying and clinging to it, you do not grasp it in your mind. Without enjoying and clinging to it, you do not grasp it in your mind. And number 3, so at the moment of noting, although you experience feelings, you just hear without clinging. Now you have some feeling. Even though there are some feeling, you have awareness, you have mindfulness, your mindfulness capture the reality. So kilesa cannot arise. But if we not mindful, kilesa will arise. But for the mindful yogi, even though you have experienced some feeling, you just hear without clinging. So can you follow me? At the moment of noting, although you experience feelings, you just hear without clinging. At the moment of noting, although you experience feelings, you just hear without clinging. And number 4, although you are hearing, the rounds of suffering are being cut off, because the hearing process stop at the stage of Ottapana and no javana at all. Even though Javana and Dhararamana and go to another thought process, and you can stop at the ultimate reality. But to the third phase and fourth phase, if your mindfulness not too strong, you will go to the conceptual stages, and kilesa will arise. So number 4, can you follow me? Although you are hearing, the rounds of suffering are being cut off. Although you are hearing, the rounds of suffering are being cut off. In this way, yogi should practice noting and observation. Number 6, by noting every seeing, by noting every hearing, by noting every touching, by noting every cognizing, suffering is being stopped, and you are close to the lands of Nirvana. So, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and knowing, but Buddha mentioned only just seeing, hearing, and touching, reaching, and cognizing, reaching and cognizing, 4 things. So if you note every phenomena occurring at the 6 senses, or if you note seeing, hearing, touching, and seeing, hearing, reaching, and cognizing, suffering will stop, because kilesa cannot arise regarding these phenomena. You are close to the lands of Nirvana. So that is the end of Mālukyaputta. We have to stop our discourse for today. By practicing vipassana meditation, by observing every phenomena occurring at the 6 senses continuously and meticulously, may all yogis be liberated from all suffering. May all yogis realize the real peace in the very near future. Sadhu, sadhu.